And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona, from the beautiful studios of Freedom to the Nest, freedomsphoenix.com. Now we have CJ Czaia on. He's going to help us understand the DREAM Act and this birthright citizenship thing and what's going on. Because I need to understand from all perspectives here, so I can see what's going. See, I didn't really understand because seriously, I just don't care. To have borders and you got to have governments and have governments fighting over who can do what and everything. I'm just, there are those that just want to be left alone. There are those that just want to be left alone. And it's always this government going to, socially and economically engineer me, and now they're going to do it because I'm brown or lived on this side of the border or what. I'm done with that. I freed my mind. The revolution between the ears, but we need to understand what's going on just so we have an idea of how it's motivating other people and what they do. So we're looking at the DREAM Act, and we find out that it's really a mechanism by which people under 15 that came here, weren't born here, but came out at a young age, and they've been here more than 5 years. They get an education. They got a high school diploma. They're not, criminals with all kinds of felonies and so on. So you know what? If you go be cannon fodder for the empire, well, we'll let you be a citizen. We'll work it out. So it's kind of what about that one? Well, no. It was some military. They probably could use the bodies, but. So now let's look at the opposition to that came from whom? Well, CJ, help me out. Why was this opposed by who?
In the lame duck session, the Democratic-controlled House passed it, and it failed in the Senate. A lot of people think that the Democrats control the Senate. They don't. You need 60 members of the United States Senate to get your way, even if you have 51. But the Republicans and the Tea Party extremists were the ones would make sure this didn't pass because it's McCain, Flip, Lindsey Graham, all those kind of guys. And it was 5 also Democrats that didn't toe the party line. But they blinked. And both should have immigration reform and pass laws that would change how we do business.
Okay, I want to bring this up. I want to make sure that you understand. My whole thing is that it was easy for them to be pro-American. Because pro-American meant anti-immigrant in the rhetoric in this country. And the reason is because it was never addressed that the people that are here, that are Hispanic, came here even illegally, crossed the border, came here to go work. Guess why? Well, NAFTA just destroyed my agriculture in my country. I came here so I don't die, And I'm going, none of this economic issues were brought up. And nobody from the Hispanic community, certainly not the Democratic Party, ever advocated for them not having access to welfare. They would no. They do everything they can to get the rolls up as much as they can.
They don't. Listen, they really don't.
They do.
All the statistics show that they contribute more than give, and I'll give you just a quick example.
No. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not advocating that Hispanic community makes up a overwhelming, number of our welfare system.
Immigrants contribute to the federal system.
No, that's not my point.
$7 billion.
That's not my point.
Money that
I agree. I'll give you that. I'll stipulate. That's not my point.
Okay.
My point is not whether, because if you do the math and you look at, it's the white man, gets a whole bunch more welfare. I get it, okay? They contribute to Social Security and income tax and everything, a lot of this stuff that they don't get back or have access to.
Exactly.
So that helps. Exactly. I get it. That's not my point. My point is that you will never hear the Democratic Party or their advocates come out and say, Hispanics want to be citizen, they want to be here legal in some form, and they don't want access to big government. They will agree not to take access.
In general, are more socially conservative and would identify more with the right than the left for religious and other reasons. So
you're a Democratic Party officer.
They come from a culture where they don't have welfare. So they're looking to feed their families and work.
They
There are
left
problems
because
with
of a
Puerto Rico.
socialist state. They left because of a socialist state to come here for a play. Really? You think
No.
you go to Mexico? You cross. I did this with my son. I got to explain this.
No,
we
there's
go.
no
we
welfare
go
in
across.
Nicaragua.
No.
It's not in Honduras.
Well,
No.
let's put it this way: we cross the border in Mexico. We go to help putting a roof on the church, doing for an orphanage there in Sonorita. So we go there and we say, my kid's like 13 years old, and he has one of his friends with him. And I said, you watch. We cross this imaginary line in the sand here. You look at all the pavement, look at the nice stores here, the Circle K, the stock shelves, the bathroom availability. We cross this line, watch what happens. Boom, mangy dogs, unpaved streets. It's
That's
what?
not socialism.
No. Let me tell you what the point is, and I made with them, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I go, the difference is the expectation of the protection of property rights by your government. And if you're in this country and you become wealthy, you have more goodies, you got something, there's a guy with a shiny badge to take it away from you. And I go, the same thing is happening in the United States. And when you don't have this ability to create and maintain and hold and use capital, well, then you have this. And I'm going...
Well, I will say that we are moving towards a third world country in the way we're going to need guards when we sleep if you have money, because we have the haves and have-nots. We can debate how we get there, but I think you're right. We're going down that road.
I want to. You never answered my question, CJ. My question is very simple. Is this: why is it that the Democratic Party does not take on and advocacies for those that are here, not legally in quotes, whatever you want to do? Why are they not saying, look, these people, they don't want access to the welfare state?
No,
we will
I
stipulate.
agree, and I think by and large they don't, and I'm a
Say
proponent
it.
for workfare. So I don't think I'm a proponent for workfare. I don't control the Democratic Party, though. I would agree that if you look at the basic guys, if you see a beggar on the side of the street, I had a staff member that told me, look at that, what a waste of a Social Security number, because they're here to work by and large. There are crooks, there are bad guys mixed in, but by and large, the vast majority are just trying to feed their family. That's it. And they're not looking for the handout. They're looking to work. They're looking for a job. And that's all they're looking for.
No,
and they're
I
willing
agree.
to be abused to get that job.
No, I'm experienced with a lot of illegal immigrants here in Arizona that are great employees. That's not my point.
There's not a big difference between the Republicans and Dems in general, period. Let's be honest, okay? But what we're talking about and what I'm an advocate of is immigration reform and people power. That's all. That people have to be treated as with respect, as natural law would dictate. And it's like blaming the slaves for slavery. These guys are the victims of a lot of bad foreign policy, the problems in their own country, corruption, and NAFTA you mentioned. They were going to drive trucks from Mexico up to Washington, without having no borders. The big corporate greed was to have less borders. We know that. But the problem is 9/11, and now they want to institute the border control. So, listen,
no, they're going to do it anyway. They're building the highways here in Arizona.
You're right. It's funny. I listen to you, and I can hear your strong libertarian points, and they're not far from what everybody believes. We're all saying a part of the brotherhood, except it's how do we get there? My
advocate the elimination of the welfare state. Until you do that, you are the enemy.
Well, the welfare state's created by the rich. Let's be honest. If you go to Italy and you go to the Colosseum, right? They built the games. They have the gladiators. That's no different than Raymond James Stadium and the football stadiums of today. You gave the games for free to the people to entertain them. The Caesars also gave them free bread.
Oh, you guys are killing me. See, this is the problem. It comes back and you always go, well, until they give up corporate welfare, we're not going to advocate giving up the social welfare. And I'm going, all right, well, you're just as bad as they are. You think I advocate for economic or corporate welfare?
I would agree, but I may be a registered Democrat, and I've been worked in the Democratic Party. The issue we're talking about immigration is both R or D, and independent and libertarian, because what it drives it is ignorance, mostly ignorance, and some racism. And that's my only point. There's no anchor babies.
No, we're going to get to the anchor baby thing when we come back. We'll be right back. We got a short break here, a few minutes. We'll be right back with CJ Czaia, and he's going to help us understand, what does this anchor baby thing even mean? And we know it's going here in Arizona. They're pushing forward, but it's really, it's more, blood from the babies in the DNA database kind of stuff, and asking, Mom, are you legal?